Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today is going to be another rating your favorite Christmas movie. So today the Christmas movie is going to be Krampus. And I hope you guys enjoy. So we're going to get straight into the movie. As you see, I already did my eyebrows off camera. So the movie starts with a large crowd at a mall and everyone's going Christmas shopping crazy, okay? They're fighting each other, they're tugging war over items, and everyone's fighting. And they end up having like this recital there too for the kids. And the kids are even fighting, like they're tussling on the ground. And everybody's looking crazy like, oh my gosh, grab the kids, you know what I'm saying? So after all that commotion at the mall, we get to the house with the main characters and we find out that their son is the one that was fighting at the little recital. And his name is Max. And his parents are like, why were you fighting? Why did you have to fight? And he's like, because the big kid was telling the first graders that Santa wasn't real. And he was trying to help their Christmas innocence. He didn't want their Christmas innocence to be ruined, basically. He was standing up for the little guy. He was standing up for the little kids. They're like, yeah, but did you have to fight him? He said, well, somebody had to. And the mom was just like, well, this may be harsh, but they did have to find out, like, one day that Santa wasn't real. Sad that it had to be today, but it was coming. So, Max is asking his family, hey, are we still going to watch the Charlie Brown Christmas? And his dad's like, no, not after what you just did. You ain't watching nothing. We not finna watch no Charlie Brown Christmas. And he asked anybody else if they also want to join him, and they all said no. So he just ended up stuck in the kitchen with his grandmother. And his grandmother, by the way, she doesn't speak any English. She only talks. Well, she does speak English, but she doesn't talk it to them. She only speaks in her native language. And they just talk back to her in English. So he's talking to his grandmother. And she's like, do you believe in Santa? And she says she tries to keep the Christmas spirit. And then the mother, her name is Sarah, had asked her daughter Beth to help her put some stuff up in the hallway. And she's just arguing with her mother how she does not want to see her cousins for the holiday. And because she said one day they pooped in her bed. And they're not little kids or anything, y'all. These are like teenagers. Or maybe tweens. They give me tween. But she said they pooped in her bed. No, she's not happy to see them. She does not want to see them. And mom was like, they're your cousins. We just gotta get through the holiday. You know, she's giving that type of vibe. Like, she can't really do nothing about it. You feel some type of way. So what? You just gonna have to feel some type of way because they're coming. Basically, what I was getting. They're coming. In a discussion. So the house starts to shake. And the family already know what it's. They already know what's up. Because it's loud outside, then the house is shaking. The cousins are here. Cousins are here, so they come. All of them come to the door to greet them. And the cousins come on in. And this is the mom's side of the family. This is her sister. So these are the kids' aunt. So this is Aunt Linda and her husband, Howard. And they have a few kids. You got Howie Jr., you got Stevie and Jordan. They're twin girls. And then you got their little baby sister who they end up forgetting in the car until Tom, who's the father, until Tom said something like, aren't y'all missing a child? And they're like, oh yeah, she's in the car. Oh baby. So, and not only did they forget the baby, but Linda didn't tell her sister Sarah that she brought their aunt Dorothy there. And she don't like Aunt Dorothy. She's like, why didn't you tell me you brought her? And she's like, well, she showed up to the house saying she just wanted to exchange presents. And she came with a suitcase and I couldn't just leave her there alone for Christmas. So she was kind of mad at her sister for that. And I told her that Aunt Dorothy was coming. I'm probably saying her name kind of bad. Dorothy. Yeah, she didn't tell her. So Max is talking to Howie Jr. and he's trying to ask him, so did you ask Santa for anything? Did you write your list to Santa? And he's kind of like non-responsive. Actually, Howard Jr. did not talk the whole movie. He had not one line. Not one. So he just keeps trying to talk to me, but Howard Jr.'s not even saying anything. But the twin girls, Jordan and Stevie, notice that Max has a Santa letter in his pocket. So they over here plotting on him. They just plotting. So now we're at dinner. And the mom was making, like, she made them a nice little dinner that they're eating. They all sitting at the dinner table. It was real nice, real cute. And you have Howard, her sister's husband, giving Tom such a hard time at the dinner table. Just being a butthole. Asking him, oh, what did you go to the Navy to do? I mean, what did you go to the Army to do? Said he an Eagle Scout or something. And he started, like, making a joke about what he did to the girls, to his twin girls. So, you got that going on. Then you have Sarah and Linda's not really getting along because Sarah made a comment that Linda doesn't do anything right. So they having a little back and forth. Not too major, but they was having a little back and forth. And then you had their Aunt Dorothy upset that she made like fancy food for them. And she was like, I can't, why you making all these foods I can't pronounce? Like, she didn't like it. Sarah was getting a little annoyed with how they was acting, like how they was on her about her food. Because even Howard was like, it has no flavor, it's a little bland. But her husband Tom was like, it's nice, honey. I like it. My food is really good. And Howard was like, well, shoot, I should have got your portion then. And Tom was like, can you just say something nice? Like, just be nice. Say something nice. Dang. So Sarah's like, I'm gonna go get dessert. And then she turns around. Cause she's blazing. It looked like she made like a souffle or something. Honestly, I'm not really sure what she made. But she made something a little fancy for them for Christmas. Their Christmas dinner. And her aunt is in the kitchen. Talking something, what fancy you making now? You know fancy food don't digest in my stomach too well. And she went off on her aunt. Her aunt didn't say nothing else to her. She was like, if you don't like how I'm fixing my food for Christmas, you should go back to the trailer park where you live and have your own Christmas by yourself and stay out my kitchen. She told her. And she was looking like lost for words. Yeah. But she didn't say nothing else to her. Then we get to the kids. They're at the table. Howie Jr. is, of course, going in on this food, not saying a peep. He really was enjoying this fancy food. But Jordan and Stevie end up taking Max Santa's letter without him knowing, and they decide to read it at the table. They read his letter out loud. And he's trying to get it back from them, but his sister Beth is like, no, don't make a scene, don't make a scene. And they're just reading and just reading. And his letter was so sweet and so sincere. I felt so bad for them trying to embarrass him like that because it was so sweet. He was like, Santa, please make Christmas how it used to be. I want to spend more time with my sister. Ever since she got her boyfriend, she don't spend time with me anymore. Please, can you help my aunt and my uncle because they're struggling? And they start walking in, like back in from the kitchen or whatever, because Linda was changing diaper. But they all walking in, just hearing what he asked Santa for. And can you please help my mom and dad because he's never home? Then the dad was like, dang. Then she keeps reading because she's like, this is really sentimental. So she reads it, right? She turns the back and she's like, forget you. My dad does not wish that we were boys. And I think he do wish that they was boys because they were dressed up like little boys. I thought the other twin was a boy at first until I heard her talk. And I thought, oh, that is a girl. I didn't even know. But once she said that, Max went a little crazy and he tried to take the letter back. Because he wasn't embarrassed. He don't want everybody to know that he still believes in Santa. And that's his business. So after that, dinner basically got ruined. And he ended up saying, I hate you. I wish you all go away. And then later his dad ended up coming in the room, just telling him, hey, bud, it's okay. They won't be here that long. They're only going to be here for 3 days. His dad just tells him that this is the time for us to get to know each other better and put aside our differences. And he let him know that it's not too late for him to mail his letter to Santa. And he leaves. And it seemed like a good little convo. But Max was still a little upset. So when his dad leaves, he did put the letter in the envelope, but he thinks about it and take it out and rip it and throw it out the window. And after he throws it out the window, a black cloud comes over their house. And it got a little lightning too. And then all the houses in the neighborhood go black. So they wake up the next morning to find like the power is out. So they're all trying to figure out what they gonna do. And Max notices a snowman in the front yard. And nobody's built it, and he's really trying to figure out like where the snowman came from. And he even brings the attention to his parents, and they're like, so what about the snowman? But he's like, who built it? Who put it there? That wasn't there before. But they don't really pay no attention to that. So then they get a knock on the door. It's a delivery guy. The aunt decides she's gonna answer, and she gets the things he's delivering. And then she notices like this big sack of stuff just sitting on the porch. She's asked, oh, did you bring this? And he said no. So she just brings it in. And her husband helps her because it's like two sacks. It's like a clear sack and then it's like a red big sack or something. So they bring that in. Beth asks to go see her boyfriend because she had like texted him 9 times and he has not replied yet, and that's like unusual for him. So she asks her parents, hey, can I go see my boyfriend? She said, I'll be back. And her parents say, cool, yeah, you can go see him. I'll give you an hour. Like, cool, I'll be back in an hour. She just wanted to make sure that he's okay because that's unusual for him. So she goes and she walks through the blizzard because it is a storm going on. So big blizzard. So she's walking through the blizzard and it's just snow. She don't see nobody on the road or anything. And then it ends up getting like a little dark, you know? And then like you notice that all the houses look like frozen. Like it's really icy outside and the temperatures are really dropping. It's cul-de-sac. And then she notices something is on a house. Like a figure is on a house. And then she sees that it jumps to another house. It's jumping on roof to a house and she starts running. Because she doesn't know what that thing is. So Beth is running and running and running. And then she finds this car. So she tries to open it. She looks inside and she sees the freaking man is frozen. And the man is the delivery guy who just stopped by their house. He is frozen to death. So she gets scared and she goes under the car. So Beth is under the car, right? The thing that she was running from makes her way to the car. Like we see his feet. So she's trying to be like real quiet. And not make like any noise. And the thing leaves. So we think she's okay. Then we start hearing this noise. It's not a noise. It's actually like a little song. Which is a little weird. Because like where's this song coming from? Then she turns around. Like she turns her head really slow. And she sees this little Jack in a Box. And it's rolling by itself and the music is going. So she's just looking at it and it pops open. But nothing comes out. Then this little weird something, I don't know what it is, comes out really slow. And then the camera takes its eyes off her. And I was just looking at her under the car. You know, we just see the car. And it gets her. It gets her because you see the car moving. It gets her. And now we back at the house with the family. Beth is gone. And then back at the house, Max noticed that another mysterious snowman's appeared. So the mom and dad, they in a room. And they do notice that they haven't seen like any cars or people outside. Just snow. And then while they're just looking outside the window, because they're just sitting outside. Well, they're not sitting outside. They're looking outside the window because there's really nothing to do. No electricity, nothing is around. And then they realize that, hey, it's getting dark and Beth isn't back yet. And I gave her an hour to be home. So everyone knows that Beth is gone. So Tom and Howard decide that they're going to go out and they're going to look for Beth. They're going to go to her boyfriend's house and get Beth. Because he don't live that far. He lives in the neighborhood. So while they're gone, they're noticing that the temperature is like oddly low. Like the temperature is going crazy. It was like beyond cold. Howard said it was probably like negative 20 degrees outside. So in the middle of the road, Howard and Tom notice it's like an abandoned car. So they get out to inspect it and they open it They see no one in there. The keys are still in the car. And it's a hole punctured in the window. So they're like, what could have punctured the hole in the window? So they see a hole in the window. They want to make sure, they're protected. So Howard goes to his car and he gets some guns. And he gives one to Tom. And then they go in to inspect that house that Beth was supposed to be at with her boyfriend house. They go in there and the place is frozen cold and no one is in there. Like, no one is in sight. And then they do notice that where the fireplace is, it's like cracked open, like, and he assumed that it had to be a gas leak. But they think that a gas line had broke. And then suddenly they hear a woman's voice calling for help. So they assume it's Beth. They run outside, ready, to help whoever is asking for help. So as they go outside, something starts grabbing Howard by his leg in the snow, and it's sinking him in the snow. So Tom ended up shooting whatever was in the snow, and they end up getting away. But Howard is injured. So Tom ends up helping him walk because, his leg is injured now. He ended up shooting whatever was in the snow to, get him off of Howard. So they're walking back to the car, and they see that something had damaged the car. Like, they set the car on fire, and they, smushed it. Like, the car is gone. It's damaged. And now, all his guns that he had in the car, they're gone, too. So now that they have no more transportation, now they gotta foot it all the way back to the house and hope that they're not attacked again. So back at the house, the family is trying to warm up, and they're all sitting by the fire that the grandma had made. They start hearing something on the roof, but they just assume that it's like a squirrel. And Aunt Dorothy is like, in this weather? You think a squirrel is out in this weather? And then it ended up going away, so it's nothing. Later, they also end up hearing some gunshots, and that ends up being Howard and Tom outside when Tom had to shoot the random thing that had attacked Howard outside. That was the gunshots they had heard, and it kind of made them nervous and scared because they don't really know what's going on out there. So since they had heard that, Sarah was like, oh, I'm going outside. And she was finna leave and put on her coat and leave and go and find him. But her sister Linda was like, no, don't go. And she was like, I'm going. And she was really finna leave. But as soon as she was finna walk out the door, Howard and Tom comes through the door in a hurry. They trying to get out the snow. They're trying to get back to safety, okay? And I don't blame them. So everybody see them. And they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? Did you find Beth? He's like, no, I don't know where Beth is. I don't know where she is. But I don't know. But I hope she's safe. Then they look at Howard. Howard got bit by something. He's bleeding. He has a whole injury on his leg. And of course, they asked the kids to go in the kitchen. And then they asked the grandmother and Aunt Dorothy, can you keep an eye on the kids? Because they don't need to see this. So now the adults are trying to figure out how they're going to stay safe and how they're going to find Beth. Because Beth is still missing. She needs to be found. So they ended up boarding up all the windows and the doors because they don't know what's out there. Max lets his dad know that his grandma's acting a little weird. She's feeling a little uneasy. And his dad lets him know that, yeah, she's like this every holiday. I don't know why, but she is, and she never wants to talk about it. So it's getting late, so the family, they're still in the living room by the fire. And Howard decides that he's going to stay watch while the family gets some rest. So now the family is asleep. It's the middle of the night, and Howard ended up falling asleep. And then the fire in the fireplace ended up going out completely. Once that happened, we start hearing giggling on the roof. And then this long chain comes down the chimney with a hook on the end and with a gingerbread man on it. Howie Jr. ended up waking up and seeing the gingerbread man on the little chain. So he decides to grab it out of the chimney and he eats it. As soon as he takes a bite, the gingerbread man screams and ties Howie up, wraps the little chain around him, and tries to drag him up the chimney. Once that happened, the whole family wakes up because they realize, hey, something is taking Howie Jr. So Sarah grabs him first, and she's holding on for dear life. And then the family's panicking, so they grab Sarah, and they all like grabbing each other, trying to pull Howie back down. But sad to say, they wasn't strong enough, and Howie ended up getting taken. And Sarah seen the freaking gingerbread man, and it kind of freaked her out. But even though it freaked her out, she still stayed hanging on him, trying to pull him in. But it didn't work. He got taken. They're all in distraught that he's gone. And the grandmother puts up another fire in the chimney, and she begins to tell them a story. She said, when she was little, things were not cheerful. No one had Christmas spirit, and it was a very dark holiday season. Darker than any time before. Everyone had gave up on the Christmas spirit, even her parents, and eventually she did too. So the night that she gave up on Christmas spirit, a dark ancient spirit had came named Krampus, and he came to punish people and take them to the underworld. She saw him take her parents, and she thought she was gonna get taken too, but she didn't. He left her as a reminder for what happened when Christmas spirit dies, and then he left her a little gift. It was a little bell that said Krampus on it. So after hearing the story, Howard ain't feeling the story. He thinks she's just making stuff up, and he's really upset that his son just left, so he ain't really got time for these made up stories. So he gets up, he's mad, he's like, I'm finna go get Howie. And they like, no, you can't go outside, you can't go outside. He ends up pulling out a gun on them, and he's like, I'm going to save my son. He ended up taking the wood off the little door that they had boarded up, and he goes outside with the gun. And then he sees figures behind all these snowmen outside. It's a whole bunch of snowmen in the front yard. And he sees these figures, they're running behind the snowmen laughing. And he just goes back in the house. And after they go back in the house, they all just decide they're going to make sure that fire stay on. Because that's something that's keeping them out. They not coming in with the fire being on. So in the midst of them trying to get Howie Jr., the Christmas tree ended up catching on fire. So Aunt Linda is upstairs in the attic trying to put the rewrap some presents that had got burned. So Sarah goes up there and get her, and they're trying to make a plan on how to escape. They talking about it. They got it mapped out, like, and they trying to like figure something out. So while this is happening, Stevie and Jordan is upstairs, and they hear like a voice, and they're talking to the voice, and they think it's Beth. They like, Beth, where have you been? Everybody's been worried about you. We've been looking for you. And she's like, and the little voice is like, yeah, come upstairs. I've been here the whole time. So they go upstairs thinking that it's Beth. And next thing you know, everyone hears screaming upstairs. So the other adults, they're running to the living room, like, and they're like, where is Stevie and Jordan? Because Aunt Dorothy was watching them, and they said they had to go to the bathroom. And they're like, and you let them go? And Aunt Dorothy was like, what else was I supposed to do? So they run up to the attic to find Stevie and Jordan. They go up there, and they see this big toy. It got like a jack-o'-lantern head, and it's really long like a little snake. And it got like a little jack-in-the-box thing at the end. And they see him eating a person. Like, you seen the foot and the legs go in. And Linda is screaming, because she's like, you eating my babies. So they start attacking the toys. And it's like 3 toys up there attacking the heck out of them, okay? Sarah finds this little angel baby doll. It ends up like trying to hang her with some Christmas lights. Thomas finds this little evil little bear toy. He losing. Everybody almost like losing. And the little jack-o'-lantern, evil looking toy that just ate one of the girls, is trying to get away by going in the little vent. So Linda ended up getting away from her little toy that she finds. And she cuts the lights that's trying to strangle Sarah. And she's so close to getting a little weird looking jack-o'-lantern snake toy. It ends up getting away. So she's mad. But the good thing is she sees Stevie laying on the ground knocked out. So since she sees Stevie, she knows that it ain't Jordan. Oh, and downstairs while all this is happening, Howard is getting attacked by some gingerbread cookies. And he's shooting them. He doing it. He's shooting them because they were shooting nail guns at him, straight nails pointing at him, and he's blocking it with like this piece of wood, and the nails just getting stuck in the wood. But he didn't get all of them. He got all except one. And the one he didn't get was finna stab him with this really sharp candy cane. So he like this. But the freaking dog that they brought ended up eating it. And I was like, you could just ate him? You could have just ate him. The dog ate him. So the dog saved the day on that one, okay? So they go back downstairs. They tell him it ate Jordan. So while they're in the living room, they hear all the evil toys on the roof. And they like giggling. Like they be loud as heck. They giggling. So they just listening. And the dog ends up barking at the little vent. So Max noticed that the dog is trying to get at the vent. So he opens the vent and he lets the dog in there. And it seems like when the dog gets in there, like he finds whatever he's looking for and he's attacking it. So as soon as he get it, the ceiling starts cracking. And as the ceiling cracking, guess what falls through? The little evil Jester snake toy that ate Jordan. He in the living room, the little angel bat doll toys in the living room, and the little evil teddy bear. They all in the living room now, attacking everybody. So Aunt Dorothy actually ended up getting a gun in her hand and start shooting them. So she got two of them down. She got the little teddy bear gone, and she got the little angel weird doll looking thing gone. But the snake's still there. She finna take him out. As soon as she finna take that man out, I mean the little weird little toy out that ate Jordan, these little evil elves bust through the window that they got boarded up. It just bust through. And Krampus comes along with them. I was like, oh, he's showing his face. So yeah, it's me. I'm here. I'm here. And the evil elves, the first thing they do is put out the fire in the chimney. They don't be playing about their fire. They put that out. And then the evil elves, they start to chain up Aunt Dorothy. They chain her up and they drag her out. And then the Linda is like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? Krampus took the baby. Krampus took the baby. I like, no. Ain't nobody watching the kids for real. They were never watching her. Honestly, they was never watching her. But yeah, the baby got took. And they end up dragging Aunt Dorothy out of there. So she gone. They took her. And the little caterpillar snake-like toy, he ended up going with them. And Howard decided he gonna grab on because you done took two of his kids now. He said, I'm going with you. You taking me. And then they all leave. After they take who they was taking, they gone. So after all that happened and all the little elves leave and the toys leave with Krampus, the family decides they got to leave the house. They can't stay in there. It's not safe. So now the only people left is Tom, Sarah, Stevie, Linda, and Max. They're the only people left now. So Tom getting the gun that they have, and he getting the family ready to like walk out the house because they can't stay in there. And the grandma decides that she's staying. Like she walked into the door, they thought she was coming, and she closed it behind them. Max was like, no, she wants to stay and confront Krampus. And that's what she do. Because he sure came back. So she closes the door. And she waits. It don't take too long either. Like he came like right back. She see him, like he's coming down the chimney. You literally see the chimney wall split. And he comes down. He walks to her. She's standing in front of the chimney waiting for him. She's waiting for him at the door. Okay. He stick out his little nasty tongue. And he walks up to her. And he opens up his little bag of ugly toys. And they jump out and they grab Grandma. So Grandma gone. She got taken. I forgot. She was left too. But now she taken. So the family walking in the snow. The dad, Tom, noticed that something's in the snow after them. Trying to grab them. So he tells the family, y'all go without me. I'll handle this. He hugs his wife and kid, and they continue walking. And he's shooting at it as much as he can until he runs out of bullets in the shotgun. And then he just closes his eyes because he knows he's finna be taken. So now it's just Matt, Stevie, and Linda. So they end up finding this little car to put the kids in. And while they're putting them in a car, Linda's getting dragged too. Like, she's sinking in. She said, hey, grab Stevie. Sarah put her in the car, and then Linda get taken. And then Max is like, once Stevie and Max is in the car, he's like, come on, Mom, come on. And she's like, no, baby, like, you stay here. And next thing you know, she gets taken in the snow too. Like, she gets sunk in there too. So now, the only people left is Stevie and Max. So they're trying to start the car, but they can't start the car because the car isn't working. It's not cranking up. And after they do that, you got the little evil elves come back, trying to grab them. Like, they grabbing them through the window because the window's down. They grabbing them and all that. And they trying to fight them. They trying to fight them off. But the evil elves end up grabbing Stevie, but somehow leave Max alone. Like, he fights them off. And he see one of the elves fall into the snow and get drugged somewhere. I have no idea. So now he's all alone. He gets out the car and Krampus meets him. And Krampus throws down the little ornament or the little bell that says Krampus on it. And Krampus leaves and just leaves the little boy there. So Max is walking in the snow all sad because his family is gone. Like, everyone is gone. Everyone has been taken. He walks in the snow and he walks up on Krampus and his crew having a good old funky time. And he sees Krampus and he yells at him and says that he doesn't want the little gift that he left him. He throws it back and says, I want my family back. Krampus sees him, hear him, and he said that they have Stevie and they're finna drop her in this big hole that this big hole had like up here in the snow. And that they're finna drop her in. So he's like, take me instead, take me. And it's like everybody started laughing, even Krampus. And they dropped Stevie in there. He was like, no, I said take me, take me. Krampus grabbed him and dropped him in there. He was like, shoot, I'm not finna switch y'all out, but I'll take you too then. Since you want to say take me, I'll take you too. So after he fall in there, that little fiery pit that they had made in the snow, he wakes up, he's in his bed. And he's like falling in his sleep, I guess. So he fell out the bed. And he's on the floor and he wakes up and he's in his room. He can't believe that he's in his room. I couldn't either. So he goes downstairs, he sees his family. They're all downstairs. They said they had been waiting for him to get up. And his grandma made hot chocolate and he's sitting with the family. He decided to see everyone, you know. And he said he had a weird dream. He hugs his mom and dad. And it was just cute how the family was there. They looked all cheerful and stuff and all in their Christmas pajamas. It looked nice. So Stevie's like, forget all this sappy stuff. Let's open up the gifts. Because everyone's there, right? So they open up their gifts and presents. It's all cute. And then Max gets his presents in a brown box. A dusty brown box. And he opens it and he looks in there and he sees that it's a Krampus bell. And what his grandmother had said in the story was coming back to his head and he remembered everything. And it's like, once he opened the gift and grabbed it, everybody had seemed to remember all that had happened. And everybody was just looking around like, oh my gosh, it was real. It really happened. And sadly it did. And then next thing you know, you see Krampus holding a snow globe with them in it. It's just their house. So he got him. They didn't get away from Krampus, obviously, but it was real. He got him. Sitting in the snow globe. And they can't even get out. So yes guys, that was the ending of the movie. The family made it out alive, but not how they expected to, because they are still trapped with Krampus. Krampus got all of them for having no Christmas cheer, okay? So this holiday season, don't be grumpy and express your Christmas spirit, y'all. This is Christmas. It's all about joy and all that stuff, and Krampus already showed y'all what's gonna happen if you don't. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was my video recap of Krampus, and this is the finished look. What do you think? I don't know how I feel about the lashes. The lashes seem a little too much for me. because I like subtle looks and stuff, like subtle lashes. But what you think of the look? You should probably do it for a Christmas party or something that you're gonna be doing this year. And thank you for watching my video. And don't forget to follow us on our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. And don't forget to shop at Pretty Unique Cosmetics. We have lip scrubs, hair growth oils, lip gloss, and much more coming soon. So don't forget to check us out. And you guys have a great, wonderful day. Bye, guys.